to the United States in September the 11th of 2001. And in that, and this information I got from Michael Murphy with the Catholic Resettlement Program, in that there has only been 3 that are Muslims who have been charged with a terrorist attack. 2 of them were released because of lack of evidence, and 1 was planning an attack on another country. So out of those tens of hundreds of thousands of people that have been resettled in the United States, there has been no attacks in the United States from that. So let us remember that as we embrace, as we open our hearts, as we welcome our Muslim neighbors. They are neighbors. And at this time, we're going to take questions from the press, and we'll take first, because they'll probably have to get out of here soon, and then we'll take questions from anyone in the audience. And we'll let Reverend Greg come back up and come back down.
And feel free to address any questions you might have to any of the panelists. And if you want to just address some questions in general, one of us will respond to that.
I'm just wondering where we go from here. What's the next step with this organization to bring more people together?
That is a great question. In fact, we've got lots of plans unfolding right now. So, Crystal, would you like to speak to that?
I'll talk with one of them. One of the things we're doing, and the community is doing, because we broke it up into different committees. And so one of the committees is having an Ask a Muslim sessions around town. And that's Scheherazade back there. So one of the first Ask a Muslim dates will be on February the 21st, 2016 at 1:30 p.m. at Summit Christian Church, 4021 Denlinger. And so you can come with your questions. They've explained about jihad here, but there's lots of other questions. So part of that is to answer those kind of questions. There's also lots of events taking place. I'll let you speak to those.
The Father Umar Mosque at 637 Randolph Street in Dayton, Ohio.
Do tell. Keep going.
Well, actually, we're asking the religious organizations to support a particular purpose that we put out that set to offset the kinds of negative things that ISIS is saying. They're using those negative statements to recruit young people in America and around the world. We have 11-point flyer that we're going to pass out to everybody eventually that asks you to endorse those 11 points that are negative things against Islam, that you will understand what those things are, and that you will be able to stop the negative content that ISIS is saying. So as we do this campaign, it's a national campaign, I'm hoping that you all join us. And again, it's Father Umar Mosque, 637 Randolph Street, here in Dayton, Ohio.
Thanks. There's also, I just wanted to mention, in addition to the gatherings that Crystal talked about, there's a group also working on some more intimate home gatherings as well. And the intention is that you'll be invited to bring someone who perhaps has never had any contact with a Muslim person. And introduce them and let them get acquainted so that they expand their sense of humanity. We also recently just published these postcards that are being sent to all state legislators and inviting some conversation with the legislators as well. And Krishi, you had something.
My name is Khurshid Ahmed, and I'm an ex-president of Interfaith Forum of Greater Dayton. And if I'm allowed as an ex-president, or if, because currently I'm chairman of the board of Dayton International Peace Museum. So on behalf of them, and especially on behalf of all the Muslim community, I thank Rabbi Karen for opening not only Temple Israel, but opening your heart, because I am so pleased as a Muslim, what I am seeing here in this room and outside, that Americans are saying we don't believe in hatred of our neighbors or people of other faith. So this is it's so pleasing that all of you, what you have shared, that we are children of one God, and we all believe in social justice and treating them, all of them with dignity and love. So this is my statement. The questions, some other time I will answer because I've taken more time than I was supposed to take. But I was a professor, that's the problem.
So I'd like to add something to this question, and I don't want to take too long, but you asked more about what's next. And how many of you know about the Season for Nonviolence? One, two, not everybody. But anyway, so the Season for Nonviolence is a 64-day period that marks the assassinations of Dr. King and Gandhi. And that each day of that 64-day period, we try to emulate one of the qualities that they ask us to think about. On the MLK Peace Bridge Facebook page, we are posting every day a different quality, and we're asking people to answer and give thoughtful pause and talk about the quote that's associated with that, and even the video clip that may be associated with that. In addition, as part of this whole process, we have a series of different events that are taking place across the community, and we welcome anybody else who would like to host one such event. Our friend Aminullah the other night was giving a very thoughtful presentation on his journey as an African-American male into Islam, and as he said, those will be continued at his own mosque. We are planning to have Carmen Culata, who is a professor at Wright State University, do a workshop on implicit bias and how that affects us in ways that we're not even aware of. In addition to that, we will have a concert to close the Season for Nonviolence on April 3rd. Stay tuned for more information, but if you are a singer or know singers, please have them come and talk to me. And lastly, as the final thing of the Season for Nonviolence, will be a panel discussion on the different avenues of activism that we can all undertake in this community to make it a better place for all of us to live. And that prepares us for Peace Bridge, which happens on May 7th, and we continue the process year-round. So there are many things that we can all do. It's just a question of reaching out and finding out where they take place.
Yes.
We did a conference, a couple of, I didn't do the conference, but it was held at Wright State with Dr. Hussein. And my question, and Professor Randall pointed out that it's Muslims this time, but before it was the Catholics, you know, and so this is like an excellent press conference, but I'm wondering, is there a move to continue this, to make a tour? Because I think there's a lot of ignorance, not just of Islam, but like Professor Randall said, it's Islam now, but it may be Baha'i tomorrow, you know. So, and then you spoke, and one of the things that they all have in common, you know, is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so I was wondering if that's something. And then to Reverend Crystal, is this going to be something that is also brought to churches in the black community? Because there's a lot of ignorance as far as Islam.
It is, and I'm going to let Shahrazad answer that.
Well, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. That's how we greet everybody. Peace be upon all of you. The hope is that with this community, and I'm deeply humbled and very gratified that Crystal pulls this together. It is obviously very necessary, and we all understand, you know, we've all spoken up as Muslims, we've stood up and we've said that, you know, this is not Islam, this is, but we recognize that there is ignorance. So we're opening ourselves up. We're inviting people to come to us and ask us the questions, or they don't need to come to us. We'll come to them if we're invited, but we're also opening our homes up. We're trying to do this in a gradual manner. We're trying to recruit more people within our community to go out and do these things. So yes, please stand by. We'll have more information as it comes up. This is just the start. Obviously, there is a great deal of the fear of the unknown, and we recognize that we are not the only community. We are one in a long series. We're hoping that we can dispel those ignorance, dispel the ignorance and the myths by just getting to meet us. We're just ordinary people wanting what everybody else wants, which is peace and security and the love of our neighbors, and our neighbors include all people. And whilst I have all of you having my attention, I am going to ask you to do one more part of our campaign, which is a social media campaign. We are using the hashtag #LoveYourMuslimNeighbor. So if those of you on Facebook, if you could please check in to the Temple Israel and use that hashtag. We're also using the hashtag Dayton Stands with Muslims. So it's hashtag Dayton Stands with Muslims. Please do just check in. We're trying to get this going. Share it on your Facebook pages, share it on your Twitter accounts. For those of you that have it, it's very simple. All you have to do is put that up on your profile. Thank you.
Let me add one additional hashtag that we're using, and this is for the youth. Youth love to take selfies, so for the youth, if they can take a selfie with a Muslim friend, and it will be hashtag my Muslim friend.
I'd like to give you some information later to your question, because we have a series of workshops. I'm working with a number of leaders, community leaders across town, including David Greer and a few others. There are 3 workshops that are being planned, as well as 2 documentary films and commentary and discussion after the films, and they're designed so that there will be ongoing conversation to keep it going in between each of those presentations.
Yes.
I just would like to add one more point, that Dayton International Peace Museum is leading a very ambitious initiative called Team Inventing Peaceful Solutions. It's meant to try to train and equip teenagers from the age of 12 to 18 with the skills and the knowledge that they need to be able to wage peace, basically, to spread that culture of peace, not pacifism, but activism in a peaceful manner. And we feel that engaging the youth is quite crucial at this time, because for youth in the Muslim community, they are the most vulnerable, but also youth in general in the area need to be able to learn how to coexist with each other in a peaceful way, not necessarily trying to become exactly the same, but celebrate their differences and be able to build on the differences and use it as a complementing thing to help them become better.
Well, I'd like to thank our panelists today, and I'd like to thank all of you for being present and coming out, and happy Valentine's Day.